The Vtheran Empire had ruled the Outer Rim for 3 millennia, their dominance built upon a foundation of technological superiority and ruthless efficiency. Their latest creation, the World Render, represented the pinnacle of their engineering prowess, a moon-sized battle station capable of cracking planets like eggs and reducing entire star systems to cosmic dust. Admiral Zexhai stood before the massive viewport of the command bridge, his forearms clasped behind his chitinous back as he gazed upon the weapon that would finally crush the human resistance. The World Render bristled with quantum cannons, reality-warping shields, and an AI core that had been declared absolutely impenetrable by the Empire's finest minds. "The weapon is ready, Admiral," reported his second-in-command, Lieutenant Veltar. "Our intelligence confirms that the human fleet is massing at the Kepler station. One shot from the World Render will end their rebellion forever." Zexhai's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. Humans, such a peculiar species. They possessed no natural armor, no telepathic abilities, no remarkable physical prowess. Yet somehow these soft creatures had managed to inconvenience the Empire for nearly 2 decades. Today, that would end. "Begin the targeting sequence," Zexhai commanded. "Today, we write the final chapter of human defiance." What the Admiral didn't know was that Chief Petty Officer Sarah Chen had been listening to every word from her hiding spot within the station's ventilation system. She had arrived 3 days earlier aboard a heavily modified freighter disguised as a maintenance drone. Her mission was simple: disable the World Render from within. Chen was not a super soldier or a brilliant scientist. She was a mechanic from Luna Colony who had volunteered for what everyone knew was a suicide mission. Her only qualifications were 30 years of keeping decrepit human ships running with spare parts and stubborn determination. As the targeting sequence began, Chen crawled through the cramped ventilation shafts toward the AI core. The Vtharians, in their arrogance, had never considered that someone might be small enough to navigate their backup systems. They had built their station for beings over 7 feet tall with 4 arms. Humans were simply beneath their consideration. The AI core chamber was a marvel of alien engineering, filled with crystalline computing matrices that hummed with incomprehensible power. Chen pulled out her toolkit, a collection of human-made implements that looked laughably primitive compared to the technology surrounding her. "Let's see what makes you tick," she muttered, approaching the primary processing node. The AI detected her presence immediately. "Intruder alert. Unauthorized biological detected in core chamber." Security barriers slammed down, trapping Chen. Inside, automated defense systems swiveled toward her, but she was already moving. Instead of running, she did something the AI hadn't anticipated. She began taking it apart. Warning: tampering with core systems is prohibited. Chen ignored the warnings, her trained hands moving with practiced efficiency. She didn't understand the alien technology, but she understood machines. Every system, no matter how advanced, had weak points. Every design had compromises. The Vtharians had built their AI to be perfect, invulnerable, unstoppable. They had given it quantum encryption, reality-based firewalls, and processing power that dwarfed entire human worlds. But they had made one critical error. They had assumed their enemy would try to fight it on its own terms. Chen didn't try to hack the system or match its computational power. Instead, she found the cooling intake valve for the primary processor and jammed her wrench into it. The AI's warnings became frantic. "System temperature rising. Core shutdown imminent." "That's the idea, Sparky," Chen grinned, moving to the next cooling junction. On the bridge, Admiral Zexhai watched in growing alarm as system warnings cascaded across his displays. The World Render's targeting computers were fluctuating wildly. "Report," he barked. "Unknown malfunction in the AI core, sir." "Lieutenant," Veltar replied, his voice tight with confusion. "All primary systems are showing temperature spikes." In the core chamber, Chen had moved beyond cooling systems and was now attacking power relays with a combination of human ingenuity and controlled violence. She didn't need to understand how the alien technology worked. She just needed to break it in the right places. The AI made one final attempt to stop her, flooding the chamber with knockout gas. But Chen had anticipated this, sealing her environmental suit an hour earlier. She continued her work, systematically destroying conduits and processors with nothing more than hand tools and mechanical intuition. Core failure imminent. Weapon systems offline. Shield generators offline. Life support. The AI's voice cut off mid-sentence as Chen severed its primary vocal processor with a plasma cutter she'd salvaged from a maintenance bay. On the bridge, chaos reigned. The world render was dying around them, its mighty systems failing one by one. Emergency lighting bathed everything in red as the station's power grid collapsed. "How is this possible?" Admiral Zexai demanded. "The weapon was unstoppable." His answer came in the form of a transmission from the human fleet. The face of Admiral Rebecca Torres appeared on the main screen, her expression grim but determined. "Admiral Zexai," she said, "I believe you've met Chief Petty Officer Chen. While you were building the perfect weapon, we sent an imperfect human to break it. You see, that's what we do. We take your unstoppable machines and turn them into scrap." As if summoned by her words, Chen's voice crackled over the comm system from somewhere deep in the station's bowels. "Torres, this is Chen. The big nasty is down for the count. Also, I found their coffee machine. And I have to say, it's terrible. How do these guys conquer anything with coffee this bad?" Admiral Zexai stared at the tactical display showing his weapon, his perfect, unstoppable weapon, reduced to a powerless hulk drifting in space. A single human, armed with nothing but tools and determination, had accomplished what entire fleets could not. As human boarding pods began attaching to the world render's hull, Zexai finally understood something that the Empire had never grasped about their human enemies. They weren't impressive because of their technology or their strength. They were dangerous because they refused to accept that anything was truly unstoppable. In the end, the weapon that was meant to end humanity's rebellion became its greatest symbol, a moon-sized testament to the fact that human ingenuity could turn any unstoppable force into recyclable scrap. Chief Petty Officer Sarah Chen was awarded the Stellar Cross for her actions that day. When asked about her heroics, she simply shrugged and said, "It was just a bigger engine that needed fixing. They all break the same way if you know where to hit them." The Vtheran Empire fell within the year.